To the Super Gringo podcast. Tonight we're going to be talking about Trump's sneakers, gun control, the bullshit in Gaza with Brazil, and the farce. We'll be watching videos where people actually destroy the farce that was the New York City verdict.
Bem-vindo ao podcast Super Gringo. Hoje à noite vamos falar sobre os tênis do Trump controlando as armas em Gaza com o Brasil e a farsa que estará assistindo vídeos onde as pessoas realmente destroem a floresta. Foi o novo veredicto da cidade de York.
There is no phone number because according to you couldn't hear, so I still haven't figured out what's wrong. But stick around. Everyone would love to hear your insane loony leftist bullshit.
Aww.
Back to our regularly scheduled program. I guess Donald Trump came out with his own brand of sneaker that were like $339. I was reading on Forbes, they forgot to use the translator so my Brazilian audience can also join in on the fun.
Esqueci de usar o tradutor para que meu público brasileiro também possa aderir à fonte.
I guess Donald Trump came out with his own brand of sneaker. They were like $339. I was reading on Forbes, they sold out in like 2 hours before they were even available. I guess 10 pairs were going to be randomly signed. The loony left on X, formerly known as Twitter, were losing their minds because a guy paid like $9,000 for a signed pair. I guess he was Russian, which to the loony left means Trump is a Russian spy. I did point out to the moron who was making fun of the guy, they're going to be worth more money in like 10 years. No wonder the loony left is fucking broke. With degrees in gender studies and not understanding memorabilia, they have no idea how to make money.
Acho que Donald Trump lançou sua própria marca de tênis. Eles custavam cerca de $339. Eu estava lendo sobre 4 de nós. Eles se esgotaram em cerca de 2 horas antes mesmo de estarem disponíveis. Acho que 10 pares serão assinados aleatoriamente. O Looney deixou Ash, anteriormente conhecido como Twitter. Estamos enlouquecendo porque um cara pagou cerca de $9.000 por um par autografado? Acho que ele estava com pressa. O que, para a esquerda maluca, significa que Trump é um espião russo. Cara, eles vão valer mais dinheiro em uns 10 anos? Não é de admirar que o maluco que sobrou esteja falido com diplomas e estudos de gênero e sem entender as recordações. Eles não têm ideia de como ganhar dinheiro.
I've also been pointing out something to the loony left, who have been bragging about the fine that the judge levied against Trump. We'll get to that later. Bragging about your political party's corruption is probably not the best campaign strategy. Even common people can see this is bullshit. Letitia James has made more Republicans than Trump ever has.
Também tenho apontado algo para a esquerda maluca que tem se gabado da multa que o juiz aplicou contra Trump. Que mais tarde se gabar da corrupção do seu partido político provavelmente não é a melhor estratégia de campanha. Mesmo as pessoas comuns podem ver que isso é uma merda asterisco. Letitia James fez mais republicanos do que Trump jamais fez.
I have to throw something out there I just find telling. On a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, in the middle of the afternoon, there are 20-something, 30-something idiots on social media that have enough time to tell everyone how much they hate Trump all day long. None of these fuckers have jobs? Make work great again.
Eu tenho que jogar algo lá fora. Só descobri que em uma segunda-feira, terça-feira, quarta-feira, no meio da tarde. Há 20, 30 e poucos idiotas nas redes sociais que têm tempo suficiente para dizer a todos o quanto eles odeiam Trump o dia todo. Nada disso, filhos da puta têm empregos. Tornam o trabalho ótimo novamente.
I've been seeing more of this anti-gun shit on X, formerly known as Twitter. Here's what you fucking morons should do. Get your fat asses on buses. Travel the country to every Native American reservation. Ask them to give up their guns, of which they have many, as they're not bound by federal gun laws, because the government will protect them. If they give up their guns, then we can talk. Until then, shut up and good luck.
Tenho visto mais dessa merda anti-armas no X, formalmente conhecido como Twitter. Aqui está o que seu idiota deveria fazer: colocar suas bundas gordas em ônibus. Viajar pelo país para todas as reservas de nativos americanos. Pergunte a eles desistir de suas armas, das quais eles possuem muitas, pois não estão sujeitos às leis federais sobre armas. Porque o governo irá protegê-los se eles desistirem de suas armas. Então podemos conversar até então, calar a boca e boa sorte.
Why would anyone need an assault weapon?
Self-defense, right to self-preservation.
To what? What are they?
Assault weapon, a made-up term to elicit a prescribed response from idiots who don't know anything about
You can do
firearms.
the same thing with pistols. I mean, most pistols are semi-auto.
Well, why do we need them? Why can't we just have one-shot things?
Are you advocating for banning all guns that aren't like bolt action? Is that
I
correct?
don't know that much about guns, but if you want a gun, if you want to go hunting and you have a rifle, you know, go hunting. It's great. Have a one-shot rifle.
The Second Amendment wasn't in place for hunting. It's to resist against like tyrannical rule.
You think an individual having an assault weapon is a well-regulated militia? Where's the well-regulated part?
You keep using the term assault assault weapon. It's a semi-auto.
It's in the United States
assault weapons,
Code.
fully auto. Those are banned already.
Unorganized militia.
That shoots a lot of bullets at
Chapter
the same
13.
time.
It's
In
one
a row, without having to reload, right? That's what it is?
one trigger pull, one round. That's all it means.
What is
10
around me?
Código dos Estados Unidos da
Why
Milícia
would
Não
anyone
Organizada,
need an assault weapon?
capítulo
Right,
13.
self-preservation.
To what? What are they? What are you getting defense to whom? Who's going to come get you? You can kill a lot of people. Why can't you just get a rifle, like a one-shot rifle?
You can do the same thing with pistols. I mean, most pistols are semi-auto.
The AR-15
why do we
is a
need that?
rifle.
Why can't we just have one-shot things?
Are you advocating for banning all
O
guns
AR-15
that
é
aren't like bolt
rifle.
action? Is that
I
correct?
don't know that much about guns, but if you want a gun, if you want to go hunting and you have a rifle, go hunting. It's great. Have a one-shot rifle.
The Second Amendment wasn't in place for hunting. It's to resist against like tyrannical rule.
You think an individual having an assault weapon is a well-regulated militia? Where's the well-regulated?
Alguma buscando
Assault weapon. It's a semi-automatic rifle.
Google
Assault weapons, fully
Translate.
auto. Those are banned already.
A weapon that shoots a lot of bullets at the same time.
It's
In
one
a row, without having to reload, right? That's what it is?
one trigger pull, one round. That's all it means.
What is around me?
You know, semi-automatic weapons are not just about gun control. This is about national security. You know that these weapons can shoot down airplanes. They can blow up railroads.
In February, you introduced the Assault Weapons Ban and Law Enforcement Protection Act of 2007. It would regulate semi-automatic assault weapons, including weapons that have pistol grips, a forward grip, and something called a barrel shroud. Weapons with a barrel shroud would be regulated.
Oh, no, not a pistol grip.
Why should we regulate it?
I actually don't know what a barrel shot
okay,
is.
'cause it's in
Ah,
your
It's a shoulder
legislation.
thing that
Não,
goes up.
não
But
é
some
um
of these
punho de
bullets, as you saw,
pistola.
have an incendiary device on the tip of it, which is a heat-seeking device.
We have federal regulations and state laws that prohibit hunting ducks with more than 3 rounds, and yet it's legal to hunt humans.
I think the Second Amendment is in the Constitution so that we can have muskets when the British people come over in 1800.
There's been a lot of people that have been...
Yeah, unfortunately, the tyrants are now less than 1,000 miles away from most of you.
This type of mass violence does not happen in other advanced countries. This is a
Sim.
ghost gun.
Infelizmente, os tiranos estão agora a menos de 1000 milhas de distância da maioria de vocês.
30 bullets within half a second.
And I cannot tell you how many times we have been fearful of letting our animals out because all of these law-abiding citizens are shooting back and forth in front of our house and behind our house and around our house.
Why you can walk down the streets in an American city carrying a concealed weapon without a license is wacky.
Is that why Massachusetts has a lower murder rate than New York City and Chicago? Is that why it was ranked the safest state in the Union? You don't need a pistol permit to carry a handgun there, just a driver's license and a safety class.
É por isso que Massachusetts tem uma taxa de homicídios mais baixa do que Nova York e Chicago. É por isso que foi classificado como o estado mais seguro da União. Você não precisa de uma licença de pistola para portar uma arma lá. Apenas uma carteira de motorista e uma classe de segurança.
Well, I didn't say without a license. I think you... But that's what's going on. I'm talking about a different point here. No, I want to see people disarmed. I want people disarmed in our major cities. How's that for a plan?
The pair of you would like to have the right to have a tank, and you don't agree with it.
Why are you making now you're committing straw man?
President Obama's proposals to gun control. And you know something? It makes me sick when I hear people say that kind of thing.
If you want to protect yourself, get a double barrel shot.
Has anybody noticed Mr. Dolt here hasn't posted a point, he's just babbled, which is what he did over on Threads, which I'm no longer allowed to.
Fired 2 blasts.
For thousands of years, humanity lived in peace, without any murders or violence at all. And then, firearms were invented by notorious business partners Bill Weapon and Cornelius Gunn. Personkind was instantly plunged into a horrifying hellscape of death and destruction. And it's all thanks to guns. Here are some facts about these deadly weapons of mass destruction that you might not know. This is a deadly scoped semi-auto revolver with an extended mag clip. A gun just like this one was used to kill Abraham Lincoln. If guns had
You're on my account, dumbass. But, oh, you mean Threads. Oh no, they took it down because I upset you people.
Though I measured it, and it's actually much bigger than that. This is one of the most powerful fully semi-automatic clip-loading assault firearms on the planet. Let's take this to the range and see what it does to a human being.
Ameaças? Ah, não. Eles retiraram porque eu chateei
his lung was
vocês.
blown right out of his body. And he's a dummy. He didn't even have lung. Terrifying. This is the most fearsome weapon of all, the AR-15, which stands for Assault Rifle with a power level of 15. It's so heavy you can barely lift it. Help me! Help me! Help me! As heavy as 10 bucks.
Again, you're just battling.
might be moving.
But you can keep battling. It's fine. You're paying for it.
10 boxes that you might be moving.
This is the shoulder thing that goes up.
De novo,
Scary.
você está apenas
This is the trigger
balbuciando,
which decides
mas
whom to
pode
murder
continuar
without any human
lutando.
input
Tudo
whatsoever.
bem, você está
This is
pagando
the
por
antenna
isso.
which receives orders from Nazi Germany. This is a rail which can be used for all sorts of deadly attachments, from a chainsaw bayonet and a Bible attachment to a MAGA hat launcher. This is the 50 caliber round commonly used in AR-15s. Let's go ahead and load it in through the 30 clip magazine.
30 magazine clip.
Now this gun is ready to blow the head right off of a target, decapitating them instantly. Let's see this weapon of war in action. Trigger warning, this is really scary. And finally, this is the Fortnite GL Blaster. It fires deadly rocket grenades that punk 12-year-olds use to blow up your pathetic fort structures. And then they say horrible things about your mother and floss over your dead body.
I have to cry. I'm watching a video about shit you idiots say about guns.
These WMDs are just horrible. But one thing that these facts
Eu
can't tell you
tenho que
about
chorar.
is the human
Estou
cost.
assistindo vídeo
Firing these
sobre
guns, even
merdas
for
que
this
seu
brief
idiota
demonstration,
diz sobre
has given me a
armas.
severe case of post-traumatic stress disorder, from which I may never recover. The deafening roar
No, I
of
didn't.
a
You're
Colt
just deaf
22
or stupid.
echoes in my nightmares. I can't watch a Matthew McConaughey movie where he pulls a gun out without collapsing into a puddle on the floor. I'm constantly fearful that Alec Baldwin may be in the room with me at any moment, ready to shoot me. Friends don't let friends buy magic white man fire sticks. They are weapons of war, but also they are useless against tyrannical rulers anyway. So give up your guns to the government so they can supply them to Ukraine or the Taliban.
Hey you! Are you enjoying these videos? Then I have a loose suggestion for you. Why don't you like it? Comment and hit the subscribe button. In fact, even if you didn't like this video, I strongly suggest that you do it. It's not a threat. I'm not pressuring you.
Você já está faturando múltiplos 5 dígitos como um afiliado majoritário? Se você nem ao menos sabe o que é isso, para agora tudo o que você está fazendo e preste bastante atenção. A melhor forma de faturar até 27 mil reais
Lunes
em
deixou
tempo
não fala
recorde
inglês,
é se tornando
Sandriana.
um super afiliado. E hoje eu vou te mostrar como fazer isso. Estamos criando um novo movimento de negócios na internet. Um movimento que permite que pessoas comuns possam faturar até 27 mil reais por mês como afiliado majoritário. Esqueça tudo o que você sabe sobre o mercado de afiliados convencional. Está na hora de você pegar uma fatia gigante.
Look, we know you did it.
So just come clean. We can make a deal.
All right, look. You
So is Occupy
You're gonna go away
Democrats,
for a
your
long
point?
time if this goes to trial. Just say something.
Eu falo
Hey, it's no
inglês.
use. He's not
Então
talking.
ocupe
Just
o
give me
ponto
5 minutes
dos
alone with him. I'll make him
democratas.
talk. No! It's not worth it! It's not worth it! You wipe that smug look off your face!
And I intend to prove that gun right there, willfully and with malice aforethought, did shoot my client, the victim.
I have to object. On what grounds? On the grounds that my client is an inanimate object.
Overruled. You'll have the opportunity to make that argument when you present your case.
But, Your Honor, it's not an argument. It's a fact. You can all see it, right? It can't have forethought. It can't have any thought. It's a thing.
I said overruled. Now, everyone knows that guns are responsible for gun crime. If it's a thing, then how can it be responsible? Now, no more irrelevant outbursts in my courtroom.
I've been reading these responses from the loony left on the boycott New York thing. What a bunch of mental giants they are. Well, if you don't like New York, don't come back. Or, no MAGA? Sounds like paradise. I do find it telling, though, that the working class are generally Trump supporters. Then I must remind them, you fucking idiots do realize New York City doesn't grow shit to eat. It doesn't just magically appear on your fucking grocery stores. It has to be trucked in, fucktards. I bet you your gendered studies degree didn't prepare you to grow your own food, did it? Idiots.
Eu tenho lido essas respostas do Looney que sobrou sobre o boicote a Nova York. Que bando de gigantes mentais. Eles estão bem. Se você não gosta de Nova York, não volte ou nenhum verme parece o paraíso. Eu acho isso revelador, embora a classe trabalhadora geralmente seja apoiadora de Trump. Devo lembrá-los? Vocês, idiotas, percebem que a cidade de Nova York não produz merda para comer. Ela não aparece magicamente em seus malditos supermercados. Ela tem que ser transportada em caminhão, porra. Aposto que seu diploma de estudos de gênero não os preparou para cultivar sua própria comida. Não é? Idiotas.
You know, I see all these patriot posts on X and social media platforms. We're gonna do some patriot shit. Bullshit. Some of you won't even do what Grumpy Jim and I are doing. Let me explain what's been going on for the last 10 years, and you haven't done shit. For the last 10, maybe 15 years, these morons in these schools have been grooming and indoctrinating your kids to castrate themselves, indoctrinating them to be good little communists, indoctrinating them to hate you. I'll do anything for my kids. No, you won't. And they'd be too scared to do what they're doing, and they obviously aren't. So
Você sabe, eu vejo todas essas postagens do Patriot no X e nas plataformas de mídia social. Vamos fazer algumas merdas do Patriot. Alguns de vocês nem farão o que o mal-humorado Jim e eu estamos fazendo. Deixe-me explicar o que está acontecendo. Bem, para os últimos 10 anos e você não fez merda nenhuma nos últimos 10. Talvez 15 anos. Esses idiotas nessas escolas têm preparado e doutrinado seus filhos para se castrarem, doutrinando-os para serem bons pequenos comunistas, doutrinando-os para odiarem você. Eu vou faça qualquer coisa pelos meus filhos? Não. Não. Você não fará e eles ficariam com muito medo de fazer o que estão fazendo e obviamente não estão tão.
I had another loony leftist block me for posting, wait for it, links. They were sharing memes like they normally do, or babbling about how they hate Trump, like Dolt down here. And I was just posting YouTube videos about Biden's lies and Trump's accomplishments as president. Instead of trying to counter what I was posting, they blocked me. I will give them credit. Before they blocked me, they didn't tell me they were blocking me, nor did they resort to name calling. So, there was a little progress there.
Outro esquerdista maluco me bloqueou por postar links. Espere por isso. Espere por isso. Eles estavam compartilhando memes como normalmente fazem ou balbuciando sobre como eles odeiam Trump como um idiota aqui e eu estava postando vídeos no YouTube sobre as mentiras de Biden e as realizações de Trump como presidente em vez de tentar contrariar o que eu estava postando. Eles me bloquearam. Darei crédito a eles antes de me bloquearem. Eles não me disseram que estavam me bloqueando. Nem recorreram a xingamentos. Então isso foi um pequeno progresso aí.
So, we all know about the Trump verdict after Holcomb, Hitler Holcomb as Andy calls her, says, "We're not going to prosecute you guys for doing the exact same thing Trump did." This investor goes on CNN and literally says that Trump did the same thing they all do. New York is basically a shithole. I can't argue with his logic. It is a shithole. Second highest taxes in the country, overregulation, crime. I think New York is in a bit of trouble.
Então todos nós sabemos sobre o veredicto de Trump depois de Holcomb e Hitler Holcomb e Andy Calder diz que não vamos processar vocês por fazerem exatamente a mesma coisa que Trump fez. Esse investidor vai à CNN e literalmente diz que Trump fez a mesma coisa que todos eles fazem. Nova York é basicamente uma merda. Não posso contestar a lógica dele. É uma merda. O segundo maior imposto do país em relação ao crime regulatório. Acho que Nova York está com alguns problemas.
Today, and I was living there, I would ask myself, maybe we should hire better management. Why is this happening to us? Why are we becoming a flyover state? Why are investors
Kevin,
concerned about putting their money there?
But shouldn't you ask that? Wouldn't those? Well, let's bring in the chairman of O'Leary Ventures, Shark Tank Judge Kevin O'Leary. Kevin, so good to see you this evening. I mean, let me just jump right in here. Last time you and I spoke about the possibility of what the fine could be in this case, we now know what it is. It's more than $350 million. That's a huge financial hit. And I'm wondering, where is he going to get this money?
Actually, it's closer to $500 million with a 9% interest, assuming it'll take 18 to 2 years to actually settle this in an appeal, which I think it should be appealed. He'll work hard to raise it. I think he can do it. But I don't think this case is about Trump anymore at all, because you heard the governor of New York come out yesterday and say, look, everybody, don't be scared about doing business in New York, because the only people we prosecute are people like Donald Trump who don't behave well. That didn't go over very well with the investment community, because we're all asking each other, who's next? This was a victimless crime. Nobody lost any money. And a judge out of nowhere put on a $355 million penalty. I mean, who's next? So if you think
Kevin,
about
before I don't want to cut you off, but I hear about the so-called victimless crimes, but the laws on the books, falsification of business records in second degree, issuing false financial statements, insurance fraud, conspiracy, and all these different aspects of it, those are actual crimes. I take it your point is that these should not have been prosecuted?
Well, my point is there's never been a case like this in 75 years. Everything you just listed off is done by every real estate developer everywhere on earth in every city. This has never, ever been prosecuted. But here's the real
No, ele não fala português.
You can put your money anywhere. I'm a real estate developer. Do you think there's a chance I would ever take a chance on New York again? New York is turning itself into a flyover state. I have to build data centers now. I'm not going to go to New York. New York has power. It's got fiber optics. It's got Niagara Falls. But no, we're not even thinking about it. We're going to places that have the exact same thing, where we have rational governors that have never done
Ele
this to
tem
investors.
mente
This is
do
about New
macaco,
York and its people.
da
If I
macaco.
were New York today and I was living there, I would ask myself, maybe we should hire better management. Why is this happening to us? Why are we becoming a flyover state? Why are investors
Kevin,
concerned about putting their money there?
But shouldn't you ask that? Wouldn't those people also be saying, well, first of all, I do wonder how many people take issue with the idea that every investor is engaged in falsifying business records, that every investor is engaged in what has been accused of Donald Trump and the Trump organization, because there's probably a lot who are saying to themselves, I've never falsified my business records. I know what a square foot looks like. I know what I can ask for and what I have the money to support. So I wonder to what extent that really is true. But on the second point, wouldn't there be many companies who would not want to do business or loan money to people like yourself or investors if they know that they can get away with fraud and there's no recourse to protect them?
Excuse me, what fraud? This is not about Trump anymore. When you get a developer that builds a building and he says it's worth $400 million and he wants to borrow $200 million from a bank, which happens every day, everywhere on earth, including every American city, every developer is an entrepreneur. They shine the light on their building and they say it's worth 400. The bank does its own due diligence, as was done in this case, because they're very good at it. The banks are very good, and they say, no, it's worth 300. We're only going to loan you.
Obviamente fala estúpido por todo mundo.
That's how it works. And then in this case, even the bank that was supposedly defrauded testified and said, we didn't lose anything. We want to do business with this guy again. We'd like to. But the judge said, no, 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 no. Let's penalize this developer for $355 million. And if we're going to do that, let's penalize all the developers all across America. They've all done the same thing. All of them should go to jail, and we should stop building buildings. That's what the message is from New York. Even the
Você não compreendo
what this looks like
qual é o falar, falo.
U.S. domestic. All around the world, people are talking about what happened here. You really think people want to invest money in New York after this? How about we go somewhere else?
I think there are people who would, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to converse with you instead.
You just did.
It's only because I want to have a conversation,
you know what?
Kevin, as opposed to just having you tell me.
Douto preciso atenção.
You understand exactly what I'm talking about.
I got to tell you, I'm respectable for a number of reasons, Kevin O'Leary, but being a lawyer is one of those issues. But I'll tell you, when I hear your conversation, and I do want to converse with you about this point, I understand that there are legitimate concerns that were raised during the trial and will continue to be raised about who the quote-unquote, who is actually bringing the suit. It wasn't the banks who were saying that we as consumers or unsophisticated feel this way, But Letitia James, the Attorney General, and I know you want to expand beyond Trump, has suggested, well, it's about making the playing field level for those who are not the major and billionaire investors, but for those who are supposed to put business records out there, want to get a loan, the idea of making sure that they have to have the
Se os
same
pais são irmãos,
included as those who have a lot more money. Is there any weight to that for you?
Well, I ask you who lost money, and I'll make it even clearer. You and I, we're developing a data center together, and I say to you, we can go to New York, where this just happened. It's your money now. You're now an investor, and you're taking risk. You're an entrepreneur with me, right beside me. We're together on the deal. Or I can show you Oklahoma, North Dakota, West Virginia, where the governors actually ran businesses. Let's go there, where this never happened before. They have power.
continuare tanto,
They've got
tanta,
legislation that's supportive of entrepreneurship. Why would we go to New York? Why take the risk? My only point is, did we just diminish the great state of New York and the great people of New York? And shouldn't they ask for better management so they don't become a flyover state? Remember, New York has the highest taxes in the country, the worst regulatory environment, and it's incredibly mismanaged. And I'm pointing out now, on top of that, you get this insanity, a victimless crime. And forget about Trump. It's not about Trump. I don't care about Trump in this. I care about America, and I care about entrepreneurship, and I care about democracy and the fairness. The judicial system is now being criticized. People are asking themselves, the bar of New York.
He just wants to take over the discussion to get attention. It's called a troll.
Ele só quer assumir o controle da discussão para chamar a atenção. Isso se chama troll.
Why is this becoming so perverse? Why are we the focus of this injustice? And I, nothing to do with Trump. I'm not supporting Trump. I'm supporting American entrepreneurship. And New York is slowly becoming the #1 loser state in America. I'm sorry, that's what's happening.
Well, that's news to the city that doesn't sleep. But I'll tell you what, the governor has said that legitimate business operations have nothing to worry about. I, as an attorney, am looking at this issue, wondering what the appeals process will look like, because they're going to delve into that very topic that you have raised. They're going to talk about perhaps the novelty of this being, as you described, not brought on behalf of, unsophisticated consumers who may have been duped, but decisions made by loan entities who wanted to engage in business with this particular organization. That'll be really important. Go ahead, put your hand up.
I want to put up my hand and ask, Governor, who's next? Who are you going after next?
You want your hand up for that, Kevin? Put your hand down if that's the question. What do you mean?
Whoever goes against the establishment, that's who's next.
Am I next? Who's next?
Quem vai contra o establishment é o próximo.
I have to ask you, because you're a businessman who likes to talk about licensing. Do you currently own, or will you be buying one of these gold sneakers?
Thank you. No, it's very expensive, very expensive. But you have to add it to the branding.
Okay.
You have to add it. I collect watches, 2 of them right here. I'd rather buy a watch.
Do you have 2 watches? Okay, well, you know what time it is. All right, fine. Kevin O'Leary, I'll let you and your 2 watches go. We'll talk again. There'll be other times for us to speak. Thanks, Kevin.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Milhões de pessoas vivem sem água no sertão nordestino.
So the judge, right, the wonderful, sweet judge, Letitia James, says she'll seize Trump's New York buildings if he can't pay $350 million fine. Rob, if you have the video, I want you to watch this video, and then I want to show you something else that maybe none of you have seen, except for those of you guys that have been on Twitter and X. Go ahead and play this clip, Rob. Go ahead.
If he does not have funds to pay off the judgment, then we will seek, judgment enforcement mechanisms in court.
Yeah. For you idiots who don't know anything about the law, she can't actually do that until the appeals process is over.
Para vocês, idiotas, vocês não sabem nada sobre a lei. Ela não pode fazer isso até que o processo de apelação termine.
And we will ask the judge to seize his assets.
Trump was held liable for
Why does she
exaggerating
talk like
his wealth.
Janet Jackson? You can pause it right there. By the way, so watch this. Okay, so they want to do that, right? Because remember, this whole thing got started when she claimed that Mar-a-Lago is worth what? $18 million.
$18 million.
Rob, can you go to Twitter, please? I found an article yesterday through Matt. I think it was Matt that put this up, and then I went to Google to verify it. This is New York, Matt Gates, by the way. This is New York Times, Thursday, July 16th, 1981. Post home for sale for $20 million. A portion of Mar-a-Lago, the Post estate in Palm Beach. 43 years ago, this house was for sale for $20 million. And then I said, this cannot be a real story. Then I went and typed New York Times to see if this article is still public. You can do this, folks. This is the article on NewYorkTimes.com with the date right there, if you can zoom in.
Wow.
July 16th, 1981, okay? And if you get the article, this is about the property of Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach being for sale. So millions by government was the undisputed quote in Palm Beach society. And today, 7.5 years later, after the death of Marjorie Merriweather Post, a 115-room mansion, which she resigned, she reigned in, is on the market for a regal sum. By all accounts, the Post Foundation is selling Mar-a-Lago, a 17.7-acre estate that stretches from the Atlantic Ocean in front yard to Lake Worth in the back for no less than $20 million, a record-breaking price in a winter, watering hole of the very rich. Is also one of the highest ever asked for residential property in the country. This is 1981. Wow. It took 4 years and $8 million to build Mar-a-Lago in 1927, folks. That's 100 years ago.
Oh my!
And this judge has convinced Americans that Mar-a-Lago is worth freaking $18 million. Do me a favor, go to Realtor.com if you can do that. Just go to Go to Realtor.com and type in Palm Beach. Go to Realtor.com and type in Palm Beach. Palm Beach, Florida, if you can do that. Palm Beach, Florida, perfect. Now, if you can do me a favor while you go there and put the search, go to the filters that it'll show you to the left. Sort by, close that says sort by bottom, go lower, 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 right above the picture to the left. Yeah, go to sort by highest price. Okay, and go to that first one. Go to the first one.
That's just land.
2.3 acres for $200 million.
Oh, my God.
You're paying $200 million for that.
But they said Trump But their claim was Trump elevated the price of Mar-a-Lago to 18 million, something like that. So it sold for 20 million in 81, but somehow he elevated it to 18 million in 2022 or whenever.
Mas a alegação deles era que Trump elevou o preço do Mar-a-Lago para 18 milhões. Algo assim. Então eu vendi por 20 milhões e 81. Mas de alguma forma ele elevou para 18 milhões em 2022 ou quando quiser.
Hang on. Right now.
That's really nice grass.
Yeah. So go back, Rob. Go back, Rob. If you can go back one. Go back one. Go back one. Go to the second house.
The view, Pat.
That house is 2.27 acres.
Wow.
Okay, for $187 million. How many bedrooms is it? Go up a little bit to see how many rooms it is. Go up. 11 rooms. 177 rooms was the other one, just so you know, on 17.7 acres. So if we take purely this math, okay, go to the one previous and just do the land. Go to the one previous, Rob, you were in, right there, that one right there. So the other property is 18 acres. This is 2 acres. Let's just say 8 times, okay? 8 times $200 million with 0 property, just the land, $1.6 billion.
Wow.
With the land, with the pool, with the club, with all the inside the rooms, everything. Somebody an aggressive realtor could make an argument for $2 billion, okay? They could. Now, somebody who's reasonable could say, well, at least it's worth $1 billion, maybe $750 million. And if you're able to buy it for $500 million, you got lucky. But the fact that somebody's selling 2 acres of land for $200 million and Letitia is able to convince that the place is only worth $18 million, Do you realize how ludicrous and how funny this is? This is why people are leaving New York. Letitia James trying to talk like Janet Jackson. Okay? That's what's going on to your stage.
Hey, that's
Congratulations.
Again,
she looks like Sherman Klump without the glasses. But by the way, so
anytime, any place, the greatest.
Again, Letitia James has made more Republicans than Trump.
How is it? Like, by the way, you should be his lawyer. You just do exactly what you did in the courtroom. It's a done deal. It's a closed deal. Why, have they even done something like this?
I don't think they have done something like this. But all I'm saying is I'm giving my basic,
but that's basic.
argument for something like this. Go ahead, Tom.
Well, and what she's saying is the headlines, she's going to seize it. Well, she can't seize squat. She will seek judgment enforcement mechanisms in court. Those mechanisms start at the end of appeals, at the end of judicial review, all of which is available to Donald Trump. And he's got a lot of support from people that don't like him very much because this is a bad precedent. This is a bad case. And she can't take it. She can't stroke her pen. She's not a foreign dictator that can just steal oil companies from his billionaires. That's not what she can do here. There's due process here. And these are headlines that are meant to be populist headlines. Ha, 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 we're going to seize his assets. Well, be careful what you're talking about because you're sounding an awful lot like you got the mouth of a totalitarian regime, and Donald Trump has got the appeal process and other things in front of him. Yes, the interest is building up, but this is a farce. We will seek judgment according mechanisms in court. Yeah, after the appeals, after he hasn't paid, after a lot of things that have to come and go, because we have a judicial system, an appellate system, circuit courts for this, and we have due process in this country. At least I thought we did.
When did they give that $18 million assessment judgment? Do we have a time frame for that? I'm assuming it was late summer 2023 because I actually was doing some research back then. There was an article regarding Zillow, and they had to amend the article, but they basically posted a listing for Mar-a-Lago saying that it was sold for $422 million. So they had to retract it. They basically said, why is Zillow basically saying it's been sold, not sold? What's the argument right there? Eric Trump made a statement. That was in, I want to say September of 2023. But listen, you could say Zillow, maybe they're getting involved in where they shouldn't be getting involved politics, but that number of 422 million was what they listed or is what it was sold for. Whether you think it's more or whether you think it's less, anyone looking at this situation saying $18 million, like, come on, buddy. It just makes zero sense. And that's why I understand when people are like, what is happening?
But we keep hearing, and this is the second time you said it where it's like the people like, come on, but how are they getting away with it this far and this long? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's blatantly obvious what they're doing, but they're using the courts to try to do it. Where's the outrage? I mean, besides us yelling and people screaming, like, well, it's like...
Well, listen, we're making our arguments. Let the audience do sharing, talking, disputing. And all we're doing is we're a podcast. We talk about current events. We give our own arguments. We have friendly debates, arguments. Sometimes we throw stuff at each other after the video's done.
Yeah.
We're not live. The real fight starts once we're off, right? But, and the audience gets to sit there and say, I want to share this. Other people need to see this. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And then vote accordingly.
Yep.
Okay? With your mouth, with your audience, and with your vote. That's the way you get to do something about this, right? Especially with your money as well.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here.
I guess now the Brazilians are in on supporting the terrorist pricks. A couple days I got up and watched some Brazilian news on YouTube, and some fat Brazilian lady in their parliament wrapped in a shemagh around her shoulders. The type that the terrorists use to cover their face while they're raping women and murdering children. One of those, and babbling about Palestine.
Acho que agora os brasileiros estão apoiando os terroristas PRICS. Alguns dias eu levantei e assisti algumas notícias brasileiras no YouTube e uma senhora brasileira gorda e seu parlamento enrolados em um chemog em volta dos ombros. Você conhece aquele tipo que o terrorista costumava cobrir seus rostos enquanto estupram mulheres e assassinam crianças? Dos que tagarelam sobre a Palestina.
Hey, dingo nuts. 9.6 million of your people can't read and write. How about we focus there before you start babbling on about a bunch of other third world idiots who can't read and write either? Israel is attacking the Palestinian government because the majority of Palestinians supported Hamas and elected them into their government.
E, loucos por tango, 9,6 milhões de seu povo não sabem ler e escrever. Que tal nos concentrarmos nisso antes de você começar a lutar sobre um bando de outros idiotas do terceiro mundo que também não sabem ler e escrever? Israel está atacando o governo palestino porque a maioria de os palestinos apoiaram o Hamas e os elegeram para seu governo.
If you assholes knew anything about genocide, you wouldn't have elected a communist to be your president. Communism is the genocide undisputed champion. Between 63 and 100 million people and counting. There's a group fighting for a solid second. That would be radical Islam.
Se vocês, idiotas, soubessem alguma coisa sobre genocídio, não teriam eleito um comunista para ser seu presidente. O comunismo é o genocídio campeão indiscutível entre 63 e 100 milhões de pessoas e contando. Há um grupo lutando por um segundo sólido que seria o Islã radical.
Just a heads up for those who've never seen what terrorists do in person, killing terrorists isn't a war crime. It's a public service. A dead terrorist is a good terrorist.
Apenas um alerta para aqueles que nunca viram o que os terroristas fazem pessoalmente: matar terroristas não é um crime de guerra. É um serviço público. Um terrorista morto é um bom terrorista.
Legislative elections were held in the Palestinian territories on 25 January 2006 in order to elect the Second Palestinian Legislative Council, PLC, the legislature of the Palestinian National Authority, PNA. The result was a victory for the Islamic organization Hamas, contesting under the list name of Change and Reform, which received 44.45% of the vote and won 74 of the 132 seats, whilst the ruling Fatah received 41.43% of the vote and won 45 seats.
Eleições legislativas foram realizadas nos territórios palestinos em 25 de janeiro de 2006. A fim de eleger o segundo Conselho Legislativo Palestino PLC. A legislatura da Autoridade Nacional Palestina PNA. O resultado foi uma vitória para a Organização Islâmica Hamas, que contesta sob o nome de Lista de Mudança e Reforma, que recebeu 44,45% dos votos em 174 dos 132 assentos. Perdeu. A Fatah governante recebeu 41,43% dos votos e 145 assentos.
The newly elected PLC met for the first time on 18 February 2006. Incumbent Prime Minister Ahmed Corey, probably butchered the name, don't give a shit, tendered his resignation on 26 January 2006, but remained interim Prime Minister at the request of President Mahmoud Abbas. On February 20th of February, Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh was nominated to form a new government. The new government with Haniyeh as Prime Minister was sworn in on 29 March. As of January 2024, no new elections have been held since this one.
O recém-eleito PLC reuniu-se pela primeira vez em 18 de fevereiro de 2006. O primeiro-ministro em exercício, Ahmed Keurig, provavelmente massacrou o nome, não dou a mínima. Apresentou sua renúncia em 26 de janeiro de 2006. Mas permaneceu como primeiro-ministro estagiário a pedido do presidente Mahmoud Abbas em 20 de fevereiro. O líder do Hamas, Ismael Haniyeh, foi nomeado para formar um novo governo. O novo governo em 29 de março. A partir de janeiro de 2024, nenhuma nova eleição foi realizada desde esta.
I do find it telling most of the terrorist supporters are communists, even in the United States. Do you think it could be because the only group that could even come close to communism's body count are terrorists? Just a tip, you backwards idiots. If you don't want to get bombed, don't elect terrorists to be in your government. That goes for communists too. If you don't want to be poor, stop electing communists. Communists like to steal your money. Then again, most people who support communism don't have money.
Eu acho que isso diz que a maioria dos apoiadores dos terroristas são comunistas, mesmo nos Estados Unidos. Você acha que poderia ser porque o único grupo que poderia chegar perto da contagem de corpos do comunismo são os terroristas? Apenas uma dica: seus idiotas atrasados. Se não quiserem para ser bombardeado, não eleja terroristas para estar no seu governo. Isso também é comunista. Se você não quer ser pobre, pare de eleger comunistas. Os comunistas gostam de roubar seu dinheiro. Então, novamente, a maioria das pessoas que apoiam o comunismo não tem dinheiro.
I've been watching this guy called Jesse Peterson. I guess he's a black conservative, and he gets all these CRT, DEI idiots on his show. He just asks them straight up honest questions, and they literally bury themselves. Some of them just lose their mind, get angry, and do what they do best, which is throw a fit. Kind of like Dolt down here.
Eu tenho assistido esse cara chamado Jesse Peterson. Acho que ele é um conservador negro e ele recebe todos esses idiotas do CRT em seu programa. Ele apenas perguntou diretamente sobre suas perguntas e eles literalmente se enterraram. Alguns deles simplesmente enlouqueceram. Com raiva e fazer o que eles fazem de melhor, que é jogar um tipo de idiota aqui embaixo.
He's literally trying to get his people, black Americans, off the Democrat plantation. I can't believe the number of people that are fighting him so they don't have to get off the plantation. I think he's a reverend too. He talks about God in some of his videos. If you get a chance, go watch him. It's funny. Actually, a lot of it's funny. The loony left just melt down.
Ele está literalmente tentando tirar seu povo, negros americanos, da plantação democrata. Não posso acreditar no número de pessoas que estão lutando contra ele para que não tenham que sair da plantação. Acho que é um reverendo. Ele fala sobre Deus e alguns dos vídeos dele. Se você tiver uma chance, vá assisti-lo. É engraçado. Na verdade, muito é engraçado. O Looney deixou simplesmente derreter.
I guess Biden just forgave $1.5 billion in student loans. And he's bragging about it, asking, what do you think? He keeps posting that on X, formerly called Twitter. I keep typing the same thing. I think the idiot with the gender studies degree making my coffee doesn't have to pay their student loans now. You people do. The taxpayer. How do you feel about that?
Acho que Biden simplesmente esqueceu para Dave 1,5 bilhão em empréstimos estudantis e ele está se gabando disso e perguntando o que você acha que ele continua postando isso no ache formalmente chamado de Twitter. Continuo digitando a mesma coisa. Acho que o idiota com diploma de estudos de gênero está fazendo meu café não tem que pagar seus empréstimos estudantis agora vocês fazem o contribuinte. Como vocês se sentem sobre isso?
And I remember these are the same idiots telling you that the economy is booming, but they can't pay back their loans.
E lembro que esses são os mesmos idiotas dizendo que a economia está crescendo. Mas eles não conseguem pagar seus empréstimos.
You want to freak a loony leftist out? Just did it. Just ask them if they support affirmative action. I personally believe affirmative action is racist. What is racism? The definition of racism is believing a certain race is superior to another race. Wouldn't affirmative action be assuming that certain races and genders aren't able to pass the same exams as everyone else? Wouldn't that be the loony left believing that certain people are dumber than certain other people based on their skin color or gender?
Você quer que uma aberração do Looney nos deixe de fora? Basta perguntar a eles se eles apoiam uma permissão de ação. Eu pessoalmente acredito que para ele a ação é racista. O que é racismo? A definição de racismo é acreditar que uma determinada raça é superior a outra raça. Afirmar que a ação afirmativa pressupõe que certas raças e gêneros não são capazes de passar nos mesmos exames que todos os outros. Isso não seria o maluco deixado acreditando que certas pessoas são mais burras do que outras com base na cor da pele ou no gênero.
I guess Dolt left. Does anybody notice that he didn't actually try to debate or try to counter any of the videos or information I was putting out? He just came over and called names. Welcome to the loony left.
Acho que, idiota, alguém percebeu que ele realmente não tentou debater ou tentar contrariar nenhum dos vídeos ou informações que eu estava divulgando? Ele apenas veio e xingou. Bem-vindo ao maluco que sobrou.
Back to affirmative action. Wouldn't that be racism and misogynistic? They hate hearing that, and they'll try and talk around it. Well, that's not the definition of racism. I had a loony leftist give me the definition of racism. That's the definition of racism. They'll try to add the, but you have to have power and authority.
De volta à ação afirmativa? Isso não seria racismo e misógino? Vou tentar acrescentar que o açougueiro tem que ter poder e autoridade.
They'll try to talk around it with their CRT crap. What if I told you you're not in the bad situation you're in because of your skin color? You're in the bad situation you're in because you're an idiot. I don't really see skin color. Of course, I live with and am married to a woman of color. For me, it's just another day. So I'm used to it. But my radar will pick up stupid in a big hurry.
Eles vão tentar conversar sobre isso com suas porcarias de CRT e se eu lhe dissesse que você não está na situação ruim em que está por causa da cor da sua pele. Você está na situação ruim em que está porque é um idiota? Eu realmente não vejo a cor da pele. Claro. Moro e sou casado com uma mulher negra para mim. É apenas mais um dia. Então estou acostumado. Mas meu radar vai pegar estúpido com muita pressa.
I had a white liberal tell me that blacks commit more crime because of racism. So, your young black males, statistically, commit a record number of violent crimes against other black Americans because the black American is racist. Then I mentioned Asian Americans, who are vastly more successful than even white Americans. His response, they're a fringe ethnic group. Does anyone know what a wonder-tard is? A wonder-tard is someone so stupid, they make normal stupid seem advanced.
Um liberal branco me disse que os negros cometem mais crimes por causa do racismo. Então seus jovens negros cometem estatisticamente um número recorde de crimes violentos contra outros negros americanos porque o negro americano é racista. Então mencionei os asio-americanos que são muito mais bem-sucedidos do que até mesmo americanos brancos? Sua resposta? Eles são um grupo étnico francês? Alguém sabe o que é um wonder-tard? Um wonder-tard é alguém tão estúpido que faz o estúpido normal parecer avançado.
So now they're trying to bring back the Russian hoax against Trump because of something he said. I don't know. Anyway, Trump didn't take money from Russia. If Trump were in Putin's pocket, wouldn't he have invaded Ukraine while Trump was president? Why did he wait until the Alzheimer's patient was in office?
Então agora eles estão tentando trazer de volta a farsa russa contra Trump por causa de algo que ele disse e eu não sei de qualquer maneira Trump não recebeu dinheiro da Rússia se Trump estivesse no bolso de Putin não teria invadido a Ucrânia enquanto Trump era presidente porque ele esperou até que o paciente de Alzheimer chegasse ao consultório.
Comer releases third bank memo detailing payments to the Bidens from Russia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine.
Comer divulga memorando do terceiro banco detalhando pagamentos aos Bidens da Rússia, Cazaquistão e Ucrânia.
House Committee on Oversight and Accountability Chairman James Comer, Republican from Kentucky, today released a third bank records memorandum detailing new information obtained in the committee's investigation into the Biden family's influence peddling schemes. The memorandum outlines how the Bidens and their business associates received millions from oligarchs in Russia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine during Joe Biden's vice presidency.
O presidente do Comitê de Supervisão e Responsabilidade da Câmara, James Comer, republicano de Kentucky, divulgou hoje um terceiro memorando de registros bancários detalhando novas informações obtidas na investigação do comitê sobre os esquemas de tráfico de influência da família Biden. O memorando descreve como os Bidens e seus associados de negócios receberam milhões de oligarcas na Rússia, Cazaquistão e Ucrânia durante a vice-presidência de Joe Biden.
After Hunter Biden received millions of dollars in payments, then Vice President Joe Biden dined with his son's foreign associates in Washington, D.C. Devin Archer, Hunter Biden's former business partner, recently testified that then Vice President Joe Biden was the brand, sold to enrich the Biden family and was used to send signals of access, power, and influence.
Depois que Hunter Fight recebeu milhões de dólares em pagamentos, o vice-presidente Joe Biden morreu com os associados estrangeiros de seu filho em Washington, D.C. Devin Archer, o ex-parceiro de negócios de Hunter Biden, testemunhou recentemente que o então vice-presidente Joe Biden foi a marca vendida para enriquecer a família Biden e foi usado para enviar sinais de poder de acesso e influência.
During Joe Biden's vice presidency, Hunter Biden sold him as the brand to reap millions from oligarchs in Kazakhstan, Russia, and Ukraine. It appears no real services were provided other than access to the Biden network, including Joe Biden himself, and Hunter Biden seems to have delivered. This is made clear by meals at Cafe Milano, where then Vice President Joe Biden dined with oligarchs from around the world who had sent money to his son, said Chairman Comer.
Durante a vice-presidência de Joe Biden, Hunter Biden o vendeu como a marca para cheirar a milhões de oligarcas no Cazaquistão, Rússia e Ucrânia. Parece que nenhum serviço real foi fornecido além do acesso à rede Biden. Incluindo o próprio Joe Biden e Hunter Biden parece ter entregado. Isso é feito claro após as refeições no Café Milano, onde o então vice-presidente Joe Biden morreu com oligarcas de todo o mundo que enviaram dinheiro para seu filho, disse o presidente Comer.
It's clear Joe Biden knew about his son's business dealings and allowed himself to be the brand sold to enrich the Biden family while he was Vice President of the United States. The House Oversight Committee will continue to follow the money trail and obtain witness testimony to determine whether foreign actors targeted the Bidens. President Biden is compromised or corrupt, and our national security is threatened.
Está claro que Joe Biden sabia dos negócios de seu filho e se permitiu ser a marca vendida para enriquecer a família Biden enquanto era vice-presidente dos Estados Unidos. O Comitê de Supervisão da Casa continuará a seguir a trilha do dinheiro e obter depoimentos de testemunhas para determinar se atores estrangeiros visaram os Bidens. O presidente Biden está comprometido ou corrupto e nossa segurança nacional está ameaçada.
Below is a summary of the third bank records memorandum. I put the link to the entire memorandum in the description of this video. The full memorandum can be found here. It's in the description. Committee staff is releasing payments from Russia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine that occurred during Joe Biden's vice presidency. The committee has now identified over $20 million in payments from foreign sources to the Biden family and their business associates.
Golpe é um resumo do memorando de registros do terceiro banco. Coloquei o link para todo o memorando na descrição deste vídeo. O memorando completo pode ser encontrado aqui. Está na descrição. A equipe do comitê está liberando pagamentos da Rússia, Cazaquistão e Ucrânia que ocorreram durante o governo de Joe Biden. A vice-presidência do comitê já identificou mais de 20 milhões de dólares em pagamentos de fontes estrangeiras à família Biden e seus associados comerciais.
Hunter Biden and Devon Archer used Rosemont Seneca entities to bring in millions from oligarchs in Europe and Asia, using accounts nominally tied to Devon Archer but using the familiar Rosemont Seneca branding. Hunter Biden received incremental payments originating from foreign sources, attempting to hide the source and size of the payments.
Hunter Biden e Devon Archer usaram entidades Rosemont Seneca para trazer milhões de oligarcas na Europa e Ásia usando contas normalmente vinculadas a Devon Archer. Mas usando a marca familiar Rosemont Seneca, Hunter Biden recebeu pagamentos incrementais provenientes de fontes estrangeiras tentando esconder a origem e o tamanho de os pagamentos.
In February 2014, a Russian oligarch sent $3.5 million to a shell company associated with Hunter Biden and Devon Archer. Russian billionaire Yelena Baturina transferred $3.5 million to Rosemont Seneca Thornton, a shell company. Approximately $1 million was transferred to Devon Archer, and the remainder was used to initially fund a new company account, Rosemont Seneca Bohai, which Devon Archer and Hunter Biden used to receive other foreign wires.
Em fevereiro de 2014, um oligarca russo enviou 3,5 milhões de dólares para uma empresa de fachada associada a Hunter Biden e Devon Archer. A bilionária russa Yelena Baturina transferiu 3,5 milhões de dólares para Rosemont Seneca Thornton, uma empresa de fachada. Aproximadamente $1 milhão foi transferido para Devon Archer e o restante foi usado para financiar inicialmente uma nova conta da empresa Rosemont Seneca Bohai, que Devon Archer e Hunter Biden usaram para receber outras transferências estrangeiras.
In spring 2014, a Ukrainian oligarch placed Archer and Biden on the Burisma board of directors and agreed to pay them $1 million each per year. Burisma Holdings, Burisma corporate secretary Vadim Pajarsky, worked on behalf of the Ukrainian oligarch and owner of Burisma, Mykolai Zolchevsky. Hunter Biden was initially hired by Burisma to work as counsel for the company, and Pojarsky and Zolchevsky met with Hunter Biden at a conference in Lake Como in Italy, where they decided Hunter Biden would work on the board of directors with Devon Archer. Then Vice President Joe Biden visited Ukraine soon after their first payments. Payments from Burisma for both Devon Archer and Hunter Biden were wired to Rosemont Seneca Bohai. Payments were transmitted in incremental amounts to Hunter Biden's different bank accounts. In April 2014, a Kazakhstani oligarch wired the exact price of Biden's sports car to a bank account used by Archer and Biden. In February 2014, Hunter Biden met with Kenes Rakishev at a Washington, D.C. hotel. Rakishev worked closely with the Prime Minister of Kazakhstan, Karim Masimov. In April, Rakishev and Kazakhstani oligarch wired $142,300 to Rosemont Seneca Bohai. The next day, a payment was made from Rosemont Seneca Bohai for a sports car for Hunter Biden in the amount of $142,300. Archer and Biden then arranged for Burisma executives to visit Kazakhstan in June 2014 to evaluate a three-way deal among Burisma, a Chinese state-owned company, and the government of Kazakhstan.
Na primavera de 2014, um oligarca ucraniano colocou Archer e Biden no conselho de administração da Burisma e concordou em pagar-lhes $1 milhão cada um por ano. Inicialmente contratado pela Burisma para trabalhar como consultor da empresa, e Pujarski e Solchevsky se encontraram com Hunter Biden em uma conferência no Lago Como, na Itália, onde decidiram que Hunter Biden trabalharia no conselho de administração com Devin Archer. Então vice-presidente Joe Biden visitou a Ucrânia, logo após seus primeiros pagamentos. Pagamentos da Burisma para Devin Archer e Hunter Biden. Fomos transferidos para Rosemont Seneca Borrai. Os pagamentos foram transmitidos em valores incrementais para as diferentes contas bancárias de Hunter Biden em abril de 2014, um oligarca do Cazaquistão. Porque o preço exato dos esportes de Biden cartão para uma conta bancária usada por Archer e Biden em fevereiro de 2014, Hunter Biden se encontrou com o tênis Rakesh Rakisha em um hotel em Washington. DC Rakisha trabalhou em estreita colaboração com o primeiro-ministro do Cazaquistão Karem Massimotti em abril. Rakisha e o oligarca cazaque transferiu $142.300 para Rosemont Seneca Borrai no próximo dia, em que um pagamento foi feito de Rosemont Seneca Borrai por um carro esporte para Hunter Biden no valor de $142.300 para executivos da Burisma visitarem o Cazaquistão em junho de 2014 para avaliar um acordo de 3 vias entre a Carisma, uma empresa estatal chinesa, e o governo de Cazaquistão.
Hunter Biden received millions of dollars in payments from Yelena Baturina, Burisma, and Keynes Rakishev. Vice President Biden had dinner with them in the spring of 2014 and 2015 in Washington, D.C.
Hunter Biden recebeu milhões de dólares em pagamentos de Helena Barterina Burisma e do vice-presidente Rakishev de Keynes. Biden jantou com eles na primavera de 2014 e 2015 em Washington, D.C.
I guess in Brazil, you can impeach a president for just saying stupid shit. Lula said stupid shit about Israel, comparing them to Nazi Germany, and they have 123 parliamentary signatures to impeach him. Could you imagine if they could impeach a president for saying stupid shit? Sniffy Joe could be facing the death penalty.
Eu acho que no Brasil você pode acusar um presidente por apenas dizer merdas estúpidas. Lula disse merdas estúpidas sobre Israel comparando-os à Alemanha nazista e eles têm 123 assinaturas parlamentares para impeachment. Você poderia imaginar se eles pudessem apelar a um presidente por dizer merdas estúpidas? O fedorento Joe pode estar enfrentando a pena de morte.
So I guess the loony left ranked the presidents in the New York Times. Enough said there, I think. They put Biden above Trump. The world is burning. We're on the brink of World War III, but Biden beat Trump.
Então eu acho que a esquerda maluca classificou os presidentes no New York Times o suficiente. Disse lá. Acho que eles colocaram Biden acima de Trump. O mundo está queimando. Estamos à beira da Terceira Guerra Mundial. Mas Biden beat Trump.
Tá vendo essa prateleira aqui? Eu vou te mostrar como ganhar de 5 a 30 mil reais todo.
According to these experts, that you guys are not paying attention to these experts who are historians.
Historians?
And they follow who is the greatest president of all time. Rob,
let's see what
I'm
we
going to
got
send this
here.
to you. By the way, before you pull this up, Rob, don't pull it up, okay? I want you to look at it first.
All right.
I want you to say who is number one. Who did they have on the list as the greatest president of all time?
This is them?
This is them. This is the
Barack Obama.
the experts.
So it's usually Washington and Lincoln.
Okay,
They're usually
so
right at the top.
You're right. Lincoln is number one. Who do you think? Where do you think Biden ranks out of top 40, whatever, 46? 46
Well,
it is. Where do you think
who
he
did
ranks?
the list you're talking about?
The New York Times leftists.
No,
Yeah, who
these
did
are,
the list?
These are leftists. Of course.
Five.
Where's Biden?
Fun.
now?
Leftists or liberals?
Whatever. What,
Oh,
five?
there's a difference.
They're liberals. Where do you think
five?
Biden ranks?
They probably got him top 20.
Okay, so
I'm
you're
gonna
saying
say
top
five.
20.
I'm saying 5. They love him.
What are you going to say? What do you think they ranked them?
I mean, in every circle I run in, just
what?
understand that they
love him.
There's a phrase that we say. It goes Washington, Lincoln, Biden. Everyone knows that, guys.
Well, where do you think they ranked them?
If they have him in the top 10, I'm gonna fucking freak out.
Okay,
That's insane.
Look at how much he's laughing.
What do you think it should be? What do you think it should be?
Obviously, somewhere in the lower third of
now,
presidents.
so this is Biden. Where do you think they have Trump in as a top 50?
If you got
top
Biden,
47?
if you got Biden,
well,
ahead of
there's
me, I'm
only
gonna
been
have an
46
aneurysm.
presidents.
46
They
presidents.
they probably have him as number 47
Trump will be
because there's only been 46. They probably have Trump
So you're
below
saying 46.
Yeah.
You're saying last place.
I'm saying they probably have Trump below.
What do you
last
think
place.
they have? What do you think they have Trump at, Tom?
Called
I'm saying,
retribution.
If you got Biden ahead of me, I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
So, but what do you think they have? I'm actually curious.
These liberals, they probably put him at dead last.
Okay. All right. So can you go pull it up, Rob?
I can't wait.
Although they really hated
poll
Reagan,
ranks Biden as the 14th best president of all time with Trump last.
Yeah. Oh my God!
Rob, can you pull up the ranking? Because
right
I
above
sent you the
Trump.
link with the ranking as well. If you look
Hang
at your
on, where
phone,
am I?
I send you 2 links. The second link actually shows the ranking. If you go on this article, it'll actually link to it as well. If you go. Yeah, if you have it already, the way you can, that's even
that's
faster.
unbelievable.
No, you have to see where they ranked everybody. That's what's comical about it.
14th?
Watch this.
I have a feeling I'm about
So
to
go
be
to that
really
one right
pissed
there.
off.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Right there. Number 1 is Lincoln, then it's FDR, then Washington. Look, FDR got ahead of Washington.
Oh my God!
The guy that came out with all the entitlement programs and started all the taxes
Teddy
is second
Roosevelt, our
place.
guy, the Bull Moose
Teddy
Party out
Jefferson,
there.
Trump. Look at
Rough
Obama.
Riders.
Look at
Obama.
By the way, Obama moved up 9. 9.
Horrible. President.
Eisenhower,
Get your friend
LBJ is 9th
How's
place.
LBJ above
Reagan is 16.
Reagan after Biden, and he ended the Cold War.
God.
He recovered the economy.
Is that Ulysses S. Grant?
Oh my!
Reagan is
Below
after
Biden? Come on, guys. This is
Reagan
laughable.
just turned over in his grave and said, "What the hell?"
Woodrow Wilson, who fumbled World War I, is ahead of Reagan.
Okay, by the way, look at keep going there. So Carter is 22nd.
Carter is 22nd.
Keep going. Look at this. 427th. Okay, keep going.
my
keep
God, this
going.
is
Keep
Where's
going.
James
keep going.
Buchanan? Because he's
44.
commonly known as the
44.
worst president ever.
But Pat, they
Look, right above Trump,
Hold
Buchanan.
on, did they do this as a spoof or this is real?
No, this is real
deal.
Oh, no. Go
Okay,
to the
is
top.
that
So then-
Andrew Johnson or LBJ? It's got to be
Nixon.
Andrew Johnson.
Oh my God, this is brilliant.
Franklin
This is-
Pierce,
I thought this was a
Benjamin
joke.
Harrison, William Henry
go all-
Harding.
Rob, go all the way to the top.
Millard
Let's
Fillmore.
see who did it. So go all the way to the top. Yeah, so the presidential projector expert survey was conducted online via Qualtrics from November 15th to December 31st, respondents included current and recent members of the President's and Executive Political Section of the American Political Science Association, which is the foremost organization of social science experts in presidential politics, as well as scholars who had recently published peer-reviewed academic research in key. These are not regular people. This is academia. 525 respondents were invited to participate,
wait,
which
how many?
154 did.
154.
154 usable responses.
Yeah, so you know what that means? Even though the brilliant people, they all suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. How do you put him dead last? That's unbelievable.
Can you just go to that rank again? Because there's something needs to be established here. Okay,
400 of them didn't participate.
Go to the very bottom. Just understand who James Buchanan was. James Buchanan was pro-slavery. He was the president before Abraham Lincoln. He's commonly known. I think he was president from like 1857 to 1861. Fact check me on this one. Yeah, 1857. He was running on the Let's Keep America Slaves Again. That was his campaign. So obviously Abraham Lincoln, he was one of the founders of the Republican Party, came out, Civil War, Nikki Haley, we all know that Civil War was counted because of slavery, hot tip, bing, bing. But James Buchanan was throughout history known as the worst U.S. president because he basically sided with the Confederacy, was anti-American and pro-slavery. Is there anything worse than that? Now, I know that Trump is Hitler these days, but yada, yada, yada. But this to me is completely laughable.
I mean, look at the photo. I mean, dude, 1800s, everybody had slaves. Look at him. Look at that guy. That doesn't say slaves. He didn't want to get rid of the slaves. I mean, everybody had a slave.
So him and Trump right there.
So Trump is worse than that.
God, to my friends on the left, this makes you lose credibility.
Oh my God.
It makes you look completely biased. So, you might be upset about
to the parties. They get invited to the parties.
And then if you go into deeper history, there's also things about James Buchanan and young boys. You can find that too.
Why does Tom always know these salacious stories about young boys?
Pretty terrible.
Here's what we're doing. I got 2 seats I set on the side, which means you're going to sit with the staff, not with everybody else, but it's VIP, meaning front row. This is $500 seats that we
Joe Biden stated on September 3, 2019, in an NPR interview. Referring to the Iraq War, immediately, the moment it started, I came out against the war at that moment. Joe Biden falsely claims that he immediately opposed Iraq War. Joe Biden continues to defend his record on the Iraq War as he seeks the Democratic presidential nomination, lately claiming he opposed the war the moment it started. In an NPR interview aired September 3, host Asma Khalid asked Biden to respond to criticism about the Iraq War, particularly sending troops into the country. I let my record stand. I think my record has been good. I think the vast majority of the foreign policy community thinks it's been very good. For example, I got a commitment from President Bush he was not going to go to war in Iraq. He looked me in the eye in the Oval Office. He said he needed the vote to be able to get inspectors into Iraq to determine whether or not Saddam Hussein was engaged in dealing with a nuclear program, Biden said. He got them in, and before we know it, we had a shock and awe. Immediately, the moment it started, I came out against the war at that moment, Biden continued. Now, the judgment of my trusting the president to keep his word on something like that was a mistake. And I apologize for that. Is it true that Biden immediately came out against the war the moment it started? No. Biden's recounting of his position doesn't match the public comments he made right before and after the war started. During that time, Biden acknowledged frustrations with how the United States was heading into war, but said he supported the president. Biden for years stood by his vote for a resolution that paved the way for the war, even though he also criticized the Bush administration's strategy, saying the United States went to war too soon, without enough troops, and without enough countries supporting the effort. Path to Iraq War. In 2002, President George W. Bush argued that Iraqi President Saddam Hussein had chemical and biological weapons, sought nuclear weapons, supported terrorism, and threatened peace. In October 2002, then U.S. Senator Biden voted in favor of a resolution that authorized Bush to enforce all relevant United Nations Security Council resolutions on Iraq and, if needed, to use military force against Iraq. In a Senate floor speech before voting for the resolution, Biden said that failure to overwhelmingly support the resolution was likely to enhance the prospects that war will occur. The objective of the resolution was to compel Iraq to destroy its weapons of mass destruction, Biden said. Biden left open
Which
the
they had, by
possibility
the way.
that Hussein
I was
might
there.
miscalculate and misjudge U.S. resolve. In that event, Biden said, use of military force might be needed, with the support of others, or alone if it came to that. If it comes to war, Biden said, the president, I am confident, will go to the American people. In a speech last week, he made a compelling case that Iraq's failure to disarm is our problem as well as the world's. But as I said, he has not yet made the case to the American people that the United States may have to solve this problem alone or with relatively few people, or has he told us of the sacrifices that such a course of action will involve. I am confident that he will do so if and when it proves necessary. The United States invaded Iraq on March 20, 2003, and the war officially ended in late 2011. No weapons of mass destruction were found. CNN interviewed Biden on March 19, 2003, as U.S.-led troops pushed closer to the Iraqi border. Then CNN anchor Judy Woodruff asked Biden if Senate Democratic Minority Leader Tom Dashley had gone over the line by saying that he regretted that one life would be lost because Bush failed at diplomacy. No, I think what you saw is a sense of frustration, Biden said, adding that the frustration related to the lost opportunities of maybe being able to do this with others, maybe, if we had others with us, not even having to go to war. Woodruff also pressed Biden on comments by other Democratic lawmakers who said they supported the troops, but reserved the right to criticize Bush. I support the president. I support the troops. We should make no distinction, Biden said. We should have one voice going out to the whole world that we're together. There's plenty to criticize this president for. Let's get this war done. Biden also said that at a caucus meeting that day, his suggestion was to send a message that when that first tank crosses that line, we should be on the floor of the United States Senate and every capital in the world hear one voice from both parties, saying, we support the troops. We support the president. And this is the single most important thing we do, and show it by our actions.
Le who, the her.
Thank you, Chairman McCall and other members of Congress who are respectful enough to be here today. My name is Mark Schmitz from Wentzville, Missouri. I'm the Gold Star father of Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz, who was killed at the age of 20 at the Abbey Gate in Kabul, Afghanistan on August 26, 2021. I identify as a father, a husband, a pissed-off, fed-up American patriot, and now, thanks to this administration, a Gold Star dad, a title no one ever wants to have. From the age of 3, Jared has always dreamed of being a Marine. Once he made it into his sophomore year of high school, he was hard set on becoming a Marine, his next move after graduation. Little did he know, or I know, that would end up being his final major decision in his life. 2021 rolls around quickly. He says he's getting to come home to see us and his brothers and sisters because he's finally getting to go home on his first deployment to Jordan. I could see the excitement and nerves in his eyes, similar to when he left for boot camp. The unknown could always be a scary thing, but the thrill to see the world also drove the excitement. He felt like he was finally getting the chance to make a difference. He felt by becoming a Marine, he would make that difference a reality. To know Jared meant you knew he always looked out for the little guy. He was the type of young man who looked out for everyone, especially those not capable of looking out for themselves. While in Jordan, he trained with his fellow Marines as they honed their skills to perfection. He earned the right to shoot and train with a designated marksman, so I again reminded him of the opportunity that he could be a sniper.
Oh yeah, he came over. He didn't play. He just came over to throw insults, which, okay, fine, whatever. My wife was having fun for a little bit. Now I'm playing Sniffy Joe's. I can't really say accomplishments because he just sucks.
Sending him somewhere he couldn't talk about. I knew it had to be Afghanistan. We followed the news back home about what was going on and knew that had to be the place. Ever since Biden decided to ignore all reliable intelligence.
See, I don't delete them or get rid of their accounts because I want people to see just the number of insults and no content. Just insult, 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 insult.
Taking back most of Afghanistan that our warriors previous had fought so hard to control. We knew somehow Jared and his Marine brothers would end up there having to help clean up this mess that never should have been created in the first place. After landing in Afghanistan, a few days went by before I heard from him. When he finally had a chance to call, he told me he was at the Abbey Gate. He said he thought he was going to die there those first couple of days due to the absolute chaos. He said, "Dad, the look on these people's faces was that of utter human desperation, and there's no way that we can save them all." He said he was exhausted and needed to get some rest before going back on the post. He told me they were shifting his post and he would be heading out on the airstrip. That never happened. The next day, the explosion happened. The next day, my son was gone forever. Fortunately, I was able to tell him I loved him.
Ask this guy how great Sniffy Joe is.
Jared would have made a wonderful husband, a father. He wanted to go into law enforcement after the Marine Corps, but changed his mind after seeing how our police have been being treated the first year of Biden's administration. He had mentioned taking over the family business someday, and that couldn't have made me happier. All these things have been stripped from us now, and none of them will happen. He will never have the sun shine on his face again.
A maioria das pessoas que viraram ex-diabéticas deixaram de comer essa fruta inocente comum.
He got quiet all of a sudden.
He will never have
Dope
a chance
there.
to get married. He will never experience the joy of being a father, and he would have been one hell of a dad. We will never meet our grandkids. Our family name died that day. 2 years has gone by, and where are we? To be frank, we're knee-deep in bullshit, is where we are. Everyone who held a key position in the military still has that position or has been promoted. John Kirby still sits on his perch, which apparently faces the opposite direction from where all the action was. Blinken continues to delay key evidence by ignoring delaying subpoenas. Not a single general slapped down their stars, which should have happened 2 years ago when Biden ignored his reliable intelligence. Not a single person has been held accountable. Our so-called leader can't seem to even utter their names in public, not even once. Mr. Biden has run his entire political campaign for 50 years as the family man. Well, I've got news for you, sir. The curtain has been lifted.
That's one fucked up family.
Will never work again. We have seen what's going on in your family, and even worse, we've seen how you've been treating us as Gold Star families. And there couldn't be anything more disgusting and cowardly than the way you have treated us. You are a disgrace to this nation. You have no business having ultimate command over our military, and I regret not saying that to your face when I had the opportunity in Dover. I felt it more important to bite my tongue, but I also had more important things on my mind at that time, like receiving my son's lifeless body stateside. While I stood there on the tarmac, watching you check your watch.
I guess he doesn't want to play now, Grumpy.
All I wanted to do was shout out, "It's 2:30, asshole." But out of respect to the other grieving families, I bit my tongue once again. Well, as you could probably tell by now, I'm done biting my tongue. You, sir, stole their lives, their futures, their dreams, and have ripped apart 13 families. You cannot even man up and admit that. You, sir, gave us all the title Gold Star family. You, sir, discredit honor and integrity.
Yeah, I don't think this dad likes
2 years later, there
Sniffy
are
Joe
things
that
I find
much.
myself thinking about. Where and what was Biden's logic sneaking out of Bagram in the middle of the night before ever getting a single Afghan partner, or American civilian out. This is the purest definition of intentional negligence. This is just one of many irresponsible and negligent decisions coming from
That's
the
too
White
bad,
House.
because I had a question I wanted to ask.
leaving
And
behind
you can
billions
answer
of
it
dollars
too,
of finest
because
military
I'm
hardware has led
curious.
to the biggest international free market in history. Unfortunately, this will undoubtedly lead to more American military lives lost in the future. Between what has been happening here domestically, for example, the border, over the last 2.5 years, and all your failed foreign policy decisions, I would venture a guess that you have more American blood on your hands, Mr. Biden, than any president in U.S. history. While in Florida, I was
Number
approached
one
by a
arms
CIA
dealer.
operative who connected me with several more operatives on a secure phone call. I was told if the Pentagon, DOD, and state tries to tell you that they had no idea Afghanistan would collapse so fast after a withdrawal, they are completely and utterly full of shit. They kept telling me to follow Bagram, so I did, and so I have. Closing Bagram was the sole responsibility of Joe Biden. It was also the lead domino which led to the demise of all of Afghanistan. Its women, its children, 170 Afghans, 13 American servicemen, and for what? Intelligence given to Joe demonstrated Bagram, hands down, was the most effective and secure place to undertake a mass evacuation. But you chose to ignore all of that. Instead, you chose HKIA.
I know for a fact the
chain-link fence,
ceasefire document
urban
that Trump signed had provisions in there where if the Taliban took over again, we would send troops
One
back
thing I
in.
do know, though, Mr. President, China certainly is enjoying our fortress, known as Bagram.
We should have at least sent him in
I'm
to
often
blow up
asked
all
what
the fucking
accountability
equipment we
looks
left
like. Simply put,
behind.
what's most important to me is that the history books are written accurately and honestly and truthfully about what happened to our fallen 13, the fall of Kabul, and for the truth to be told about those who failed to perform their duties should be identified and should be held appropriately accountable. Lastly, I have prepared a short list of answers I will not stop fighting for as a bare minimum for the unnecessary and avoidable sacrificial offering of our 13 brave children on August 26, 2021. I'm requesting that Chairman McCall of the Foreign Affairs Committee subpoena the Inspectors General Office to review the complaints that were filed prior to the bombing of Abbey Gate and why those complaints went disregarded.
Well, some of it's coming
and
back,
failed to
you
follow
know,
up on
to the
them.
Bidens.
I'm
It's called
requesting
money
an
laundering
investigation of President
through
Joe Biden,
Ukraine.
Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken as it pertains to Article 3, Sections 2 and 3 of the United States Constitution for their involvement in intentional...
Because as we know,
program and
Russia
all of its
is
assets by
horrible,
knowingly aiding
and that leads into
known terrorists
my question.
all while
I'm going to
abandoning
stop this
US
audio
civilian
because I want
and allied
to
partners.
answer to this question.
I'm requesting Chairman McCall to subpoena...
Could someone explain to me, especially a loony leftist, the difference between what Putin did and what Biden and his cronies are doing? Putin had his political opponent killed. Biden is having his indicted on bullshit charges. What's the difference? When you can answer that, you'll realize that the U.S. ain't any better than any other corrupt country anymore. Everybody seems to think the United States is, this magical fucking place. It's not, folks. You're no different anymore. Get this through your fucking head. Brazil, the United States, you know the difference? The language in which the government will fuck you. The difference is I make more money here due to the exchange rate. That's the only difference. You're not great anymore. You let shit go. Now it's done. And guess, in the history of mankind, do you know how many rights that you've gotten back once they've been taken without firefight? None. Ever. Someone had to die. Look at history. Tell me I'm fucking lying. Sorry, that's history, folks. I didn't make it up. It's already in the books. It's not something, I can, look in the future and go, you're going to have to kill some motherfuckers. It's just the way it is. It's the way it's always been. I've said it once, and I say it 100 times. The word Democrat now is basically nothing but it's like when you talk about Democrats and communists, it's basically just looking at like the Sunni and Shia Muslims. They all read from the same fucking book, and it all turns to shit. Democrats are communists. That's what they are. Same with socialism is communism. It's Sunni and Shia. Communism, socialism, Sunni and Shia Muslims. Read from the same book, turns to shit. History proves it. History's a bitch, folks. It's a great tool if you follow it. Hate to say it, but motherfuckers are going to have to die. That's and well, nobody else wants to stand up yet. So it's probably, well, the U.S. may actually have to collapse, and then people will have to pick up the pieces and do all that shit, and you know. But yeah, earlier Grumpy missed it. I was talking about the New York City, the people from New York City. Well, if you don't like New York City, don't come back. I'm like, really? Do you fucking think that I don't have Instagram because I was calling out terrorists who are still on Instagram, by the way, Instagram and Threads. They're still on there calling for the death of all Israelis. But I got blocked for calling them out. So I said, fuck you people. So I'm over on X again, which just as many loony leftists over there sucking each other off. And but in X, my shit doesn't get taken down. I get to say what I want. I've been calling out terrorists all day. Guess how many complaints I've had? Zero. None. Why? Because you have free speech over there. And they don't like it either. They hate Elon for giving them free speech. So I don't give a fuck about Instagram or Threads. Fuck Facebook. Fuck Nazi fuck Zuckerberg. Which, isn't his name Jewish? A fucking prick. I hope he gets, I don't wish death on anyone, but I do hope he gets a fucking, like, anal itch that he just can't reach for the rest of his life. I get fired up, but you guys don't get, I see your future here in Brazil. The difference between your government and Brazil's government, the language in which they'll fuck you over. That's it. You got the same shit. You're just, well, I was talking earlier, Grumpy missed it, that in Brazil, I guess, they can impeach their president with enough signatures for saying stupid shit, because Lula has 123 signatures for comparing Israel to Nazi Germany. Now, imagine if we could impeach the American president for saying stupid shit. Sniffy Joe could face the death penalty. That's how fucking stupid he is. When I get talking about how corrupt Brazil is and how much America now looks like Brazil, gotta ask,
are you fucking getting it yet?
Again, Putin had his political opponent killed. Biden and his cronies are indicting Trump. Now, if Trump gets away with it on appeals or whatever, I think he's going to be convicted of everything because everybody's corrupt. But if he gets out of it on appeals, be looking for an assassination attempt. These fuckers don't let shit go, and they're evil. Democrats are evil. They're just communist pricks. And as you know, communism has quite the body count. 63 to 100 million people. The only one is running a close second would be radical Islam, which if you actually take the Quran and read it, just following the Quran would mean radical, because it's all fucking killing in there. Which I'm sure YouTube probably has a problem with some of that. That's why my shit gets like pushed down on the algorithm and people don't see it. I don't give a fuck. Trying to think of what and then I shared a bunch of videos, Grumpy wasn't here, about where a bunch of realtors and CEOs basically destroyed, what the fuck is her name? Letitia James' argument that Trump's property is only worth, what was it, 14 million, she said? It sold in 1981 for 20 million. The fuck? It's all corruption, and I think, well, if you read the Bible and you've read Revelations, and let's say you don't believe in the Bible, okay? All right. So the people that wrote that just knew we were going to be world-class fucking assholes, or at least some of us. Now, if you believe in the Bible, Revelations, shit about to get real, folks. So prepare yourself. Do you know where the Valley of Armageddon is? Just for to get you thinking. There's a little country in the Middle East called Israel. There's a valley just outside, I think it's on the West Bank. That valley, that's Armageddon. What's going on in Israel right now? Oh, fuck, a war. Yeah, a fucking war. Yeah, so, and World War III is about to kick off, if you want my opinion. Actually, I think it's been going on for years between all the, the wars we've been fighting. World War III, if you want my opinion. We've been fighting it for 20 years now. It just hasn't, not in the minds of people. It's not like 1940s World War II. It's World War III is like... And now we have Biden. That's another thing I brought up earlier, was if Trump is on Putin's payroll, why wouldn't Putin invade Ukraine when Trump was president? Because he would have got a free pass. Instead, he waited till the Alzheimer's patient was, in office. But I notice, it's quiet in here, and trying some new stuff with the computer too, with the mic, so I'm not, screwing up with the mic anymore. Anybody else got anything to say? Hey, Dolt, are you in here? You want to say something about what we just fucking said? You got something intelligent to say? I doubt it. You're a loony leftist. You want to tell us your pronouns maybe, or something fucked up like that? We'll wait. I mean, Grumpy's got nothing to do. Well, he does. He actually works, unlike, a lot of you fucking idiots.
Fuck off, Pastor Houston!
Yeah, I saw your farm show video. I've been waiting for that idiot to show up on no. For some reason, he picked an old video, probably because people don't go back and look at the old videos. Let's listen to some comedy while we're waiting for a Dolt or someone to say something intelligent, or give us a topic that we can debate or something. I don't know, but I'm waiting. I mean, and global warming. Oh, fuck, dude. We've been fighting World War III. Well, actually, World War IV. If the Bible isn't accurate, we'll be fought with sticks and stones, because I think we're going to fucking just start dropping nukes. But if you do believe in the Bible, yeah, there's going to be World War IV, because we're all going to be dead. And some of us will go, I guess, to paradise, and some of us are not. I'll say that.
You got people like this around you. Country's full of them now. People walking around all day long, every minute of the day, worried about everything. Worried about the air, worried about the water, worried about the soil. Worried about insecticides, pesticides, food additives, carcinogens. Worried about radon gas, worried about asbestos. Worried about saving endangered species. Let me tell you about endangered species, all right? Saving endangered species is just one more arrogant attempt by humans to control nature. It's arrogant meddling. It's what got us in trouble in the first place. Doesn't anybody understand that? Interfering with nature. Over 90%, way over 90% of all the species that have ever lived on this planet, are gone. They're extinct. We didn't kill them all. They just disappeared. That's what nature does. They disappear these days at the rate of 25 a day. And I mean regardless of our behavior. Irrespective of how we act on this planet, 25 species that were here today will be gone tomorrow. Let them go gracefully. Leave nature alone. Haven't we done enough? We're so self-important. So self-important. Everybody's going to save something now. Save the trees, save the bees, save the whales, save those snails. And the greatest arrogance of all, save the planet. What? Are these fucking people kidding me? Save the planet? We don't even know how to take care of ourselves yet. We haven't learned how to care for one another. We're going to save the fucking planet? I'm getting tired of that.
Why do you keep asking what's the number? Speak your fucking piece, stupid. It's right there. What, you can't type? Too stupid?
I'm tired of
What?
fucking Earth Day. I'm tired of these self-righteous environmentalists, these white bourgeois liberals who think the only thing wrong with this country is there aren't enough bicycle paths. People trying to make the world safe for their
Yes, for some reason he doesn't like to
Besides,
type or something, or doesn't know
environmentalists
how.
don't give
Maybe
a
it's
shit about
he has
the planet.
horrible
They
spelling.
Don't
I
care
don't know.
about the planet. Not in the abstract, they don't. Not in the abstract, they don't. You know what they're interested in? A clean place to live. Their own habitat.
Grumpy
They're
Farmer
worried that
asked you
someday
to
in the
tell
future
us
they might be
the
personally
great things about
inconvenienced.
Sniffy Joe.
Narrow, unenlightened self-interest doesn't impress me. Besides, there is nothing wrong with the planet. Nothing wrong with the planet. The planet is fine. The people are fucked. Difference. Difference. The planet is fine. Compared to the people, the planet is doing great. Been here 4.5 billion years. Did you ever think about the arithmetic? Planet has been here 4.5 billion years. We've been here, what, 100,000? Maybe 200,000? And we've only been engaged in heavy industry for a little over 200 years. 200 years versus 4.5 billion.
Tell us the great things about Sniffy Joe.
Think that somehow we're a
adult.
threat? That somehow we're going to put in jeopardy this beautiful little blue-green ball that's just a-floating around the sun? The planet has been through a lot worse than us. Been through all kinds of things worse than us. Been through earthquakes, volcanoes, plate tectonics, continental drift, solar flares, sunspots,
1-800.
storms, the
Type your
magnetic
fucking
reversal
answer,
of the
you lazy
poles,
prick.
Hundreds of thousands of years of bombardment by comets and asteroids and meteors.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people!
Yeah, fuck Joe Biden. Can't spell, don't know how to type. What's the problem?
Are you fucking getting it yet?
Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy? Or are you gonna bite?
I don't know if he can, though. Well, actually, it's instant lube because, from what I've heard, his farts are mostly air.
Bullshit.
Gee, this is all he does is babble. See, I can do insults too, just mine are better.
Excuse me, is that your nose or did a bus park on your face?
I just sent my wife over for a couple more gelado cervezas.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Don't you just love nature, despite what it did to you?
It looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress.
Fuck you! Yeah, that's my message to you. Fuck you and kiss my ass.
Here, I'll show you how it's done there.
How would you like to suck my balls? I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was, how would you like to suck my balls?
I don't know what your problem is, but I'll bet it's hard to pronounce.
Another demonstration for you.
I don't like your jerk-off name. I don't like your jerk-off face. I don't like your jerk-off behavior. And I don't like you. Jerk-off.
I've been fucking with him all night, just ignoring him, because he wants attention. But, hey, let me see if I can trigger him a little bit.
Jobs, U.S. filings for unemployment benefits plummeted to the lowest level in almost 45 years, the Labor Department reported January 18th. The figures suggest the unemployment rate of 4.1%, already the lowest since 2000, could be poised to decline further, Bloomberg said. Tax reform. Trump praised Apple's announcement that it will repatriate overseas cash holdings and pour $350 billion into the U.S. economy over the next 5 years, saying his policies allowed the tech giant to bring massive amounts of money back to the United States, which is a huge win for American workers and the USA. Jobs, Americans'
Obviously, they're
optimism
not
about
pointless.
finding a quality
They
job averaged
trigger you.
56% in 2017, the highest annual average in 17 years of Gallup polling and a sharp increase from 42% in 2016. At the same time, the U.S. unemployment rate fell from an average 4.9% in 2016 to 4.4% in 2017, the lowest rate since 2000.
You notice, like, he hasn't posted anything but babbling bullshit. So I'm wondering if maybe he skipped his meds.
Small businesses, small business confidence hit a record high in 2017, according to the National Federation of Independent Businesses. Its Small Business Optimism Index was an average of 104.8 in 2017, the highest in the history of the survey. Juanita Duggan, the president and CEO of the NFIB, cited the optimism on policy changes from Washington under President Trump as the reason for the increase in confidence.
You couldn't keep up with me on Threads when you had time to think about it. And we've already tried the you call in thing, and that didn't work out because all you did was babble there. I could play that for everyone if you like. That way they can see what a fucking idiot you really are. You see, now Grumpy Farmer's getting tired of your stupidity.
Are you fucking getting it yet?
Oh, I'd love to have him call in, but you heard the last time he called in. It was just this, but live. Let me see if I can work some magic with my software here so I can have more shit to fuck with him with. Just need to go over to my YouTube channel. It's there. Of course, the fake voice gave it away that he was just a troll. Computer runs a little slow when I'm doing other stuff, but there you go. This is the fake voice was a dead giveaway. He's an idiot.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Let's get ready to rumble!
Another chance. And I usually don't give this many. Well, yeah, I don't care. Party time. Well, I'm waiting. Okay. Waiting to call in. Waiting. You can call in on Instagram chat. It will come through. It will allow you to babble in real time. In real time. It will allow you to babble in real time. Now listen to it. It's basically just going to be what he's doing here, just with his voice. It will allow you to babble in real time. Instaface. Open Instaface. It will allow you to babble in real time. Instagram. I don't know, I live in fucking Brazil, wouldn't you? And of course there's live chat. I'm trying to get my Instagram up to make sure it will come in. He says party time. We'll see. Alright, will you open already? Okay. Waiting, you can call in on Instagram chat. It will allow you to babble in real time. I share videos that I go out and find. You just babble, like you're doing now. What you're about to do in this video, which is fucking awesome, with the fake voice. Yes. If that's your real voice, you sound like Sling Blade. Literally on the show. You're already on the show. It's not real. You're already like on the show, but you're already kind of live. You're already kind of live. They can see me typing this. Kinda live. They can see this. Live. Yeah. Yes, it is. Is that him? Not here. No, not here. I mean, I live.
Joe Biden has not visited.
Needs to come out with a call function. That's what it needs. I don't believe it has it, but settings, your likes, report a problem, appearance. Yeah, can't do calls. Let me check my Instaface here. Yeah, it's open. It's there. You can call. So. Yeah, that thing you see me doing, yeah, that's called typing. It's quite useful. So what are you going to say that is going to counter everything that I posted? Takes a second because we're using bandwidth here for the video as well. As long as you guys keep sending my check, we're good. There we go. You're literally paying me to call you a fucking idiot. Actually, you're paying me not to do what I used to do. That's going to counter anything that I've posted.
Oh, I didn't realize that you answered. I was still watching on the.
Yes, we're still live, bud. Everybody can see. Tell me that his voice doesn't sound like Slim. Let's go. What are you going to do to counter? Come on. Let's rock this shit. Oh, I can't
down.
Sniffy Joe. So fuck Sniffy Joe. Call me Sniffy. Fuck Sniffy Joe. I know what gender I am. I know my... He sounds like fucking Sling Blade.
Oh, okay.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's hear it.
What do you want to talk about, Ryan?
Everything I posted. You have to disprove it now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's it. It's that simple. You have to disprove it. All right. I'll give you a topic. Because you're all been posting this live.
Want to hear it?
Jobs.
No.
Jobs.
Jobs. Real men have jobs. Yep, real men have jobs.
So you came over here to babble some more. Okay.
No, what do you want to talk about jobs then? What kind of jobs you got there, buddy? You want to have a job there?
Troll.
Let me ask you this. You ever give your wife a blowjob?
Joe Biden.
That's a good
Stated
job.
on September 3rd, 2019, in an NPR
You want to
interview.
talk about Biden job numbers?
Referring to the Iraq
Let me
War,
ask you this.
immediately,
Let me
the
ask you
moment
this,
it started, I came out against the war at that moment.
You want to talk about something?
Joe Biden falsely claims that he
you like
immediately
this,
opposed Iraq War.
This Trump guy, yeah?
Joe
That's your guy,
Biden
right?
continues to defend his record on the Iraq War as he seeks the Democratic presidential nomination, lately claiming he opposed the war the moment it
Big strong
started.
man like you? Big
In an
confident?
NPR interview
You're
aired
sexual
September
man
3rd,
like you?
host Ash McCullough
That's
asked
cisgender?
Biden to respond to criticism
Come on,
about
that's
the Iraq War.
So his brilliant idea was to come over and sound like
I let my
Sling Blade.
record stand.
How this
That was
I
his
think my
idea.
record has been good.
Lost all
I
those
think the
jobs,
vast
huh?
majority of the foreign policy community thinks
wanna
it's
talk
been
about
very
that then?
good. For example, I got a commitment
just
from President
buck
Bush
fighting?
he was not going
That's
to
all
go
you
to
wanna do?
war in Iraq.
Well, we could do
He
that all
looked
day.
me in
Yeah,
the
he
eye in
sucks.
the Oval Office. He said he
Glad
needed
the
the vote
job
to
is
be
there,
able
though.
to get inspectors into Iraq to
Pretty good
determine
thing for
whether or
people
not
to have,
Saddam
don't you
Hussein
think,
was
big man?
engaged in dealing with a nuclear program, Biden said.
Oh,
He
man.
got them in, and before we know
Spirited
it, we
debate
had a
from your
shock
big,
and awe.
big brain there, buddy.
Immediately, the moment it
Really bringing
started,
it here,
I
every-
came out against the war at that moment,
now.
Biden continued. Now, the judgment of my trusting the president to keep his word on something
Y'all
like
done?
that was a
Y'all done
mistake.
dumb? You want
And
something-
I
you gonna say
apologize
something?
for that.
Come on, say something stupid.
Is it true that Biden immediately came out against the war the moment it started? No.
Say something stupid. Fucking Sling Blade.
No wonder I'm the only one that's
And
watching this live stream.
The Eagles
With the content
are
you're
so much
creating, look at
better
this.
than
Well,
the Eagles.
Fuck hand. Yep.
Fettermaning is a verb. It is babbling incoherently on a subject, normally giving responses that have nothing to do with the questions being asked.
You want to say something about
Generally
Trump?
caused by
Say
brain
something.
damage
say something?
from listening to other loony leftists for extended
No, Sling
periods
Blade,
of
I
time.
don't have to.
It is one of the leading symptoms of TURD. Example.
Sonny's feet are hurt.
What has Sniffy
Are you
Joe
gonna
done
get to
for the
Yale and
country?
you got nothing to say?
Fettermaning.
What are you going to say?
Well,
Come on
Trump
there.
once got a traffic ticket back in 1973.
Oh, well, Sonny.
I asked what Sniffy Joe
All right,
has done
Sling
for the
Blade.
country, and you
Weak
started
parrot. Weak
Fettermaning.
parrot.
Other symptoms. A pronounced cognitive dissonance, sudden bouts of
Well,
rage,
guys,
rioting,
about jobs?
and uncontrollable crying. A persistent
Oh, why don't you post a link?
jobs, U.S. filings for unemployment benefits plummeted to the lowest level in almost 45 years, the Labor Department reported January 18th. The figures suggest the unemployment rate of 4.1%, already the lowest since 2000, could be poised to decline further, Bloomberg said. Tax reform. Trump praised Apple's announcement that it will repatriate overseas cash holdings and pour $350 billion into the U.S. economy over the next 5 years, saying his policies allow the tech giant to bring massive amounts of money back to the United States, which is a huge win for American workers and the USA.
I obviously never joined the military for...
So you came over here to babble.
Have a look.
Some more. Got it.
No, I said, well, you want to talk about jobs? What do you want to talk about jobs?
I am talking. I'm giving you evidence. That's called a debate, not your babbling. I don't need to hear your babbling. I don't need to hear babbling. If that's all he did.
Well, give me some
babbled.
evidence.
And that's all he's doing here is babbling.
What do you say?
That's all he did on Threads, too. He babbled.
Jobs, U.S. filings for unemployment benefits
Audio's dropping
plummeted
out. I
to
can't
the
hear
lowest
anything you're
level in
saying.
almost 45 years. The Labor
And
Department
now he's,
reported
you know,
January
what's funny
18th.
is he sounds like Sling Blade.
Can't
The
hear
figures
anything you're saying.
suggest the unemployment rate of 4.1%,
Did you say anything? Are you
already
talking?
the lowest since 2000,
Did you mute me?
could be poised to decline further, Bloomberg said.
Oh, the audio dropped out again.
No, I didn't.
Well, I didn't hear any of that shit. You were just screaming at me.
Well, I don't complain about my country.
What are
I
you
complain
screaming
about
about, buddy? Come on.
you. So you came over here to babble. Got it.
Well,
just
I'm
keep
wondering
babbling.
what.
we
You
go.
said you got evidence. Now show me some evidence. Put some evidence.
Send the
up there.
money,
Show
man.
live
Just
stream.
send a check, dude. You're paying me
Stated
not
on
to do what I
December
used to do.
2021 in an
on that
interview
live
with
stream.
Rita Braver of CBS. I've been against that war in
Let's see, where's
Afghanistan
Shawnee?
from the very beginning.
What's little Shawnee doing?
Joe Biden wrong that he was against Afghanistan war from
What
the
facts
start.
you got? What evidence you got?
If your
What's
time
your
is
evidence?
short.
The jobs were lost during.
Biden
Obviously, you
opposed
can hear
aspects
this
of the
video, so,
Afghanistan
yeah.
war as vice
Trump sucks.
president,
Obviously, I have
including the
evidence.
2009
You
troop
are
surge
just
ordered
an
by
absolute
Obama.
failure.
Listen, Sling Blade.
However, it's incorrect for Biden to say
might
he
wanna
opposed
start
the
using
war
that
from the
name.
very
He got
beginning.
these
if
jobs
you're going
back.
to use that voice,
Along
Sling
with every
Blade.
other senator present,
Good thing people
Biden
got
voted
jobs,
to
don't you
launch
think?
the war in the first place
Pretty good thing
3
for people
days
to have
after
jobs,
the
don't you think
9/11
that?
attacks.
I think it's a pretty good thing for people to have jobs there. You just mad that your boy keeps losing. Your boy
Joe
likes to
Biden.
lose. He good at losing. He just lost $83.3 million.
Stated
to a
on
lady
August
again.
20th,
He lost twice to
2021
a
in
lady.
remarks.
Whew.
Al-Qaeda
Just
is
a little
gone from
tip.
Afghanistan.
That's a feat.
Pointing
Joe
out
Biden
your
said
political
that
party's
Al-Qaeda is gone
corruption.
from Afghanistan.
Yeah, just push it
Probably
back.
not
That's
the best
wrong.
idea.
Take it.
If your time is short. President Joe Biden said that Al-Qaeda is gone from Afghanistan, but in the same remarks he also
You see
said
how
that
that works?
terrorism,
I didn't even have to
including
press a
Al-Qaeda,
button
You
there,
gotta
remains
adult.
a threat.
I don't see any evidence on
A
this
UN
live stream.
report in June said that Al-Qaeda
Is there
is
evidence on
present
this
in at
live
least
stream? 'Cause I don't
15
see any
Afghan
evidence on that
provinces
live
in the
stream.
range of several dozen to
I see
500.
You got to say
Listen,
something with substance, and
A recent
Grumpy
report
will
by
leave
the
you alone.
Inspector General to Congress said that the Defense Intelligence Agency reported that the Taliban maintains a relationship with Al-Qaeda and provides safe haven
I'm
in
not kicking you
Afghanistan
out
for the terrorist
because,
group
well,
while publicly denying its presence.
I think you're funny.
Well, this is thrilling content.
This guy is
You are
fucking
master
stupid.
Didn't Biden just give the Taliban $85 billion in operation of military equipment? And I know
Oh, you
the
want-
equipment
you want-
was
now you wanna
there
talk
because I
about-
was fucking there.
Oh, no.
He didn't have a response for that one either. He just had more. Yeah, I'll be watching. I wish to be honest, I wish I could do the call-in shit. I'm trying to figure out why it's not working. As far as Instagram and Facebook, fuck them. I'm not gonna jump through hoops to get my account back. I don't give a shit. I'll be over on X if you guys. Peace out.